Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Thankful Thursday, July 31st, closing out the end of the month of July. Tomorrow will be August 1st, and we have Okiwa Garrett joining me. But today we have actor, executive producer, and director Kellenmarcus, who's also a model. And you guys might have seen him in numerous campaigns and ads across the country. He has been everywhere, and he is one of the most talked about actors ever. And I'm super excited to have him here in the dollhouse. How are you all doing, Fashion Dolls? I feel amazing. Still a little bit sore in the knee area and in the leg area, but I hope you guys all are doing awesome. So without further ado, let's welcome our incredibly talented, very special guest to the dollhouse, Kellen Marcus. Hi, King David. Yes, share the live with about 20 people, if you could do that for me.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi,
Can you hear me
I'm
clearly?
doing perfectly.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Welcome to the Dollhouse. It is such a pleasure to have you here. So, before we kick off this interview, how has 2025 been for you so far?
Um, it's been really good. I won't say the cliche like ups and downs and stuff. Like 2025 has been pretty good. It's been a very clear year. It's been a year of just like really aligning things. I still got to work on my organization, but besides that, nah, like it's really good moments. I'm happy.
You have been working on some projects, which we'll get into. You have two coming up. But before we get into your upcoming projects, tell us, who is Kellen Marcus? I know who he is because I've seen you everywhere. And your co star on the Move ATL, Daryl DC Chambers, I've interviewed him. I've had him on my show. So both of you have
Yeah,
been
that's the homie.
featured in Essence Magazine. You guys have been everywhere. So tell us about humble beginnings for you. At what age did you discover acting? Because you're what I like to call a renaissance man, because you are a man who wears many hats. You are an executive producer. You are a director. You are a model. You are an actor. You wear so many hats. So tell us, at what age did Kellen discover the business, and who was it that drew to you, that said, okay, this is something I really want to do a career?
Okay, well, starting really, really young. It's funny, like I wasn't one of those type of people that was like, yeah, I gotta or I want to be an actor. I'm trying to be in the industry or stuff like that. I didn't know anything about it. I'm from Gallatin, Tennessee, and it's a small city. You know what I mean? Like we were focused on soccer, BMX, biking, skateboarding. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around quite a few like white people, so it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Just being very diverse and being exposed to different cultures, different, activities, things like that. And but my dad at West Eastland Church of Christ, he was the audio visual uh production manager. And the first time I think he put me in a church commercial, I might have been like seven or eight. But it was funny because my mom, yo, when I was like 5, yeah, I think it was kindergarten. My mom had signed me and my sister up for this like talent show where we had to sing. And I think that, I was so nervous. I was scared. First of all, I'm not a singer or nothing like that. Like you're a kid, you know what I'm saying? So that was the first time I remember just being thrown into the fire. And at an age like that, it's kind of like it doesn't really get much bigger than that. A whole gymnasium full of, first through fifth grade children and parents, and you're in essentially kindergarten singing a whole song. You know what I mean? Like you can get stage fright really easy. But that was like early in my younger years. Those were the first time I kind of did like performing and stuff. And like I said, my dad would have me doing the church commercials like every now and then. So I had a couple lines, and then I didn't think anything else about it. Like you know, it that we moved from Gallatin to Atlanta. I still was focused just mainly on like sports, school stuff. I did not think about TV and production. I don't even think I remember. Like was going on Walker. I don't even think I remember saying like, yeah, I want to be on TV or anything like that because I didn't really care about it. It didn't matter to me. And the person that discovered me, his name is Steve Anderson. I was at Lennox. Well, that was for modeling. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of gave me my first opportunity, and then I had other people, James Lewis, Will Law, Bernard Jones, a number of people that just early in my career, they just were giving me an opportunity. They like, hey, Carlos Jones, Frank, my guy Frank. These were just, and they were black men that really were invested in. Okay, I see something that I think that you can really work with. And I just remember, even my guy Monty, he just would say like, bro, I think you have something that you don't realize because growing up, I was always criticized. Like you was dark skinned, that wasn't in. I had a gap, that wasn't in.
My God.
Big nose, nostrils and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So for someone to actually be like, I like what I see, that was foreign to me. I'm like, man, I ain't okay, I guess. And but I just gave it a shot, and then to move forward into acting, like I had a few friends that were doing like web series. My guy 40, him and Ruben Shaw, they were doing a web series, and they had reached out and just said, hey, would you want to be a part of it? So that was kind of like my first shot that I got at it. I always give thanks to Rose Cottrett and Jamie at Cottrett and Rose Casting, Cottrett Lock Casting. They were the first ones that put me in movies as far as like for background and speaking roles. Because I didn't have an agent, but they looked out for me. I was so thankful for that. And yeah, then kind of moving forward to where it got serious, as most people know, that would be Nina Stacks. She was like the first person that was like, okay, I got a role for you. It's got lines, and we're gonna like put it out and stuff like that. And like I said, the web series that was 2017. By now it's 2019, so it had been 2 years. Nobody was rocking with me. Like they wouldn't. I couldn't get an audition. Like I bombed auditions. Jesus Lord, I bombed auditions probably. Yeah, probably from like 2016 till about 2019. And just to shout out a couple people that really helped me, you have my guy Tay Smith, you have Louis Stansel. He's a great acting coach. They let me audit some classes, and I was appreciative. You know what I mean? I was like, oh dang, I could learn a couple things. I couldn't pay for stuff, but I could take my notes and boom. So when me and Nina did the short film, it went viral. And after it going viral, that was when I kind of got a little boost of confidence of like, maybe I am pretty good at this because I hadn't had any real training. And every time I was going to agencies, it was kind of the same story. You need development, you need experience. They weren't really accepting YouTube stuff. So like for the first time, it was like, okay, got a couple 100,000 views. People are asking to see more. People are asking like, hey, who is this actor? Where did he come from? This, that, and the third. So we continued to do that web series that turned into New Year, New Us 1 and 2. It did very, very successful on YouTube and we just worldwide. I still to this day am recognized from that. So yeah, I kind of just started just with web series and my friends, people that we all had a dream. And I remember I was on the Have and Have Nots, the Tyler Perry Have and Have Nots, and it was crazy because I remember him saying like in the episode that I'm in is when I think his name is Wyatt or something like that. He has a party and he like overdoses or gets too intoxicated or whatnot. It's on the Have and Have Nots. But after that episode, I remember Tyler Perry saying, you're gonna have friends around you that are doing the same things that you're doing. So pay close attention to those people that are still in those circles because you never know who can, you know, pop off or have something for you. So that I think, just me trying to be as good of a person as possible, people thought of me like, hey, okay, you nice looking, you know what I mean? You got a personality, you funny a little bit, so let's just see. And it started working out. And then from there, everybody else was like, yeah, I got something for you. And I'm really, really appreciative because I can say, my friends and family are for sure my agents for right now.
And it's amazing to have that support system and circle around you 100%. You mentioned Tyler Perry. I also seen you in all the Queen's Men. So I
Yeah.
mean, the list goes on, the list of shows that you have done. We've seen you in publications, we've seen you in billboards, we've seen you everywhere. Like you are hot. But to go back to what you just said was I didn't think that I was attractive as far as dark skin, as far as the modeling aspect, to touch on that, because you know I work in fashion. There is a
Hmm.
certain standard of beauty. And
True.
you guys both looking at the screen right now, you can tell we're not the lightest in the room. So Helen is absolutely right. Colorism is a thing. And you get it on
Sure.
all sides of the spectrum, the female side, the male side. But there was one male model that I can think of that broke the norms, and you know exactly who I'm going to say, Tyson Beckford. He was it. I
Yeah.
mean, everywhere. Ralph Lauren, he did so many campaigns and ads. He was everywhere. But it didn't really, they said, okay, this is what beauty standards are looking like now. And now we're seeing that. That was going to be another question I wanted to ask you, along with another question. Are there any life lessons that you wish you had known earlier, going back, starting your career? To that little boy starting off singing, you said you didn't want to sing. What are some life lessons that you wish you had known earlier, getting into the business?
That everybody gets nervous. Everybody
Oh
has
yeah,
fears. Everybody has things that like nobody's perfect. I think a lot of times our view of not even just perfection, but of people's placement and their progress, it can be very distorted. So that's what I would tell myself from the jump. And anybody that's, looking to get in this industry, like we all have the same feelings, the same worries, the same doubts, the same uncertainties, the same I could have done this better. So like, just put in that work. That's what I would say. But I mean, I think that for my beginning self, outside of that, it would just be, there's something for somebody. And there are a lot more, like once you start focusing on who the somebodies are, you start realizing it's a lot more than what you think. Because a lot of times, which goes into my third point, I would tell myself everybody's not always going to tell you how they feel or how you resonate with them when they first meet you. Some people don't know how to do that. Some people don't desire to do that, so you may be affecting a lot more people or influencing a lot more people more than you know, just because everybody's not going to always tell you or give you your pat on the back. So you just got to know, like, if you just do the work, people will see the work for sure.
absolutely. And the second question that I wanted to ask you was, do you think, as a model, coming from a model standpoint, from your lens, do you think that the fashion industry altogether, because I've seen you also on Project Runway as well too, but do you think the norms for what the beauty standards are as far as modeling and just doing campaigns overall, do you think that they've changed a little bit? Because back in the day, you could only be a certain height, you could only be a certain skin tone, you could only be have a certain ethnic background. And as you
True.
said, it goes to that wanting to look exotic. It was the Kate Mosses of the world, and I love Kate Moss, but for black
True.
models, it's very few and in between. Do you think that the beauty standards have definitely changed?
Um, the the standard, no, because I would say the standard is still high. I think the exposure to what beauty is and what beauty looks like is what has changed. I
Mhm.
think, back then you were discovered, and most of the time you were either discovered here in the States or you were discovered if someone was traveling or things like that, because of the fact that more people are being exposed to other cultures and other forms of beauty. It only takes for you to see something that you didn't know that you would like, and it appealed to you, and you say it grows interest. And I think that's what happened. I think you people ran it and were exposed to more beautiful people outside of just their little circle. And I think that once you start, enlightening yourself to what beauty is, and you allow yourself to know that their beauty is in the art and in the expression, not just in the outwardly. It's Yeah, and that's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's for short people, whether it's for super dark people, super light people, androgynous, if you want to say BBW or plus size,
Oh yeah,
once you are introduced to an energy that forces you to resonate, I think that's what happened. And I think a lot of people just doing it on their own, and uh we do have some followers. I think it took, like I said, it took other people to appreciate someone's beauty for those to kind of catch on. But I think once it did, it's like you have no choice but to accept it. So
absolutely. Now, you've mentioned being nervous at a young age, being nervous, and that's for all of us in this entertainment business. Going out on stage, performing, uh, doing an interview is nerve-wracking. But for you, my next question will be: is it often that your biggest worries and fears sometimes come true?
oh uh
Kind of deep.
it's
Did
like
I get you?
it's a yes. It's well, it happens, but then sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I look at it like this: if you say that something is going to happen and it happens, sometimes sometimes you can speak, or kind of what they say, speak into existence, but sometimes that's just what was going to happen regardless. You feel me? Like there's nothing more that you could have done. Like I just did a game show the other, like a couple weeks ago, and the end result, I'm so proud of the end result, because no matter what I did, if it's for me, it's for me. And I think that a lot of times people will place things on them that are not even for them, and you're thinking of an outcome that like wasn't even supposed to be in that self-doubt category of things. But I will say this, yeah, put it like this: have I gotten to the free throw line knowing that I got three chances and I only got to make one, or just to win, and overthought it? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there have been many times where like I just, in my mind, I didn't think I wasn't gonna do well, and when I got up there, I surely did not do well. You know what I mean? But even when it comes to things in the industry, when it comes to moments like that, I just shoot. Like if we talking like basketball, like I just shoot the shot. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You live to shoot another day. But I don't know. Like I can't say just be chilling, but like I'm just existing. I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm able and capable to do it at this point.
What do you believe is the key to a more fulfilling and meaningful life? Did I get you
I would
again?
say, yeah, a little bit. um, it would still just have to be truly enjoy the journey. Like there are a lot of people that chase, and from my personal experience, there are a lot of things that I chased, whether it be visibility, whether it be being viral, whatever. There were a lot of things that I chased that I know that people chase, that like it's not all that it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? Enjoy the process. Enjoy all of it, because and I can only say that because there really is no part of the process that I haven't experienced. Like there's no real story that a person can tell me that'll be like, oh, this happened and I did this and did that. Now outside of, maybe losing a parent, I can't relate to that extent. But if we're just saying like the struggle or the up and down of navigating through this, having to, sleepless nights, not having somewhere to sleep, having to depend on friends. Like, there's nothing. Enjoy it. Like, enjoy it. Because when you think about it, we listen to all these success stories. And in these success stories, we talk about, oh, this person went through this, went through this, went through that. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
at some point, you got to wake up and realize you're in the middle of your success story. Like the success story is happening right now. So if you keep trying to fight it, or if you keep trying to find a way to discredit your success story, then like you said, those inevitable things, yeah, they may happen. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just having fun. Everything that I wanted to do, I did it. except for maybe a couple people that I wanted to work with. But I still, amongst my friends, I've worked with some of the most talented people that the world is going to continue to find out about. You know what I mean? So I was never chasing like, oh, I gotta go work with this person or that person. It's like, man, I'm working with who right here. I'm here. You feel me? So uh that would just be my biggest thing. Like for real, the journey is gonna happen. Like
And
you
that
gotta go through it. You feel me?
you've worked with comedy legend from SNL, Will Ferrell, and Anchorman 2. You've worked alongside him. You worked on All the Queen's Men alongside Eva Marcella. If you want to get into the whole black model aspect, watching
Right.
America's Next Top Model as a young black girl, young black woman growing up watching her on television and seeing her and you together, it's just like, wow.
Stand right, just standing side by side, and I just like and she's a nice lady. Like she's super nice. She's I mean direct, professional, and that's just how we are. That's just how those sets are. But yeah, to be standing side by side to some of the most influential people in their own aspect, yeah, it definitely is. Um, it's heartfelt, it's meaningful. But like I said, I got some of my own friends in my own personal circle that are doing their own thing. You know what I mean? And they're legends in their own right. So I can't. Again, like I said, I meet people, but I'm always just that type of person who like kind of like the Sandlot. Like I don't care how good your team is. I
Oh
got
yeah,
somebody for that. I know somebody that can do that too, and they'll give you your run for your money. And that's why I take so much pride in my friends and in my circle because it's like I don't care what nobody say. We got some hitters over here for real.
how would your life change if you knew your choices and actions would impact humanity's destiny? Did I get you there? Me?
I feel like with my choice, I still think my choices would still be about the same because I look at it like some like that's why sometimes I don't think it says it actually in the Bible, but sometimes like they can say you can know too much. And I don't want to
Mm,
be the person that knows too much. I don't because you can manipulate. And then it's like, all right, are you really doing this because you really care? Or are you doing this because you know that it will make you look a certain way? It'll make, so to know future decisions or to know what my decisions would change, it's like, I think that's the beauty of not knowing and consistently, making those decisions to see what those changes are. I know what I feel in my heart. I know what I feel like it will do, but to actually know, that's a great question. But I don't even think I would like that. I don't even think I would like it, especially like, having gone to Africa and seeing how life is over there and stuff. It's like if you put in the work and you put in the actions, you'll see what your decisions will do. You can actively see it and you can actively be responsible for what your actions do without knowing per se because you already know. You know what I mean? Like even though you ask that, it's like, nah, if you do it knowing what it is you're trying to get out of it, that's how it's going to help humanity.
absolutely. Absolutely. What impact do you believe that your actions would have on the world around you? Like you inspire so many people. And I've seen some of your videos where you are dropping gems left and right. So, how do you feel that your impact will impact the world? And we talk a lot about legacy and writing our own chapters. We're living in a day and age in a time of uncertainty. And everybody's just
True,
like, oh my God, how am I going to finish my chapter in my life? What do I want to be remembered for? What do I want
true.
my legacy to be? So for you, what do you think
What's
your
up,
impact
Barrington?
and legacy will
Um, I think for me, just like being real, like just really being authentic. I'm not trying to take anything from you. Like if anything, I'm trying to pull something out of you that you might not have known that you had and trying to pour into you into a capacity that you might not have known that you had. That I think if anybody that really knows me, like I said, I can take accountability and responsibility. I'm not always the most timely person. Sometimes it take me a minute to text back or I try to, but when it counts and when it's time to really lock in and be dependable, I'm there. You know what I mean? I show up, and I show up for my friends. I show up for people that I know or that I feel and I know that you need someone to show up for you, because not everybody believes. Some people don't believe that people show up, and then sometimes people think that the people that are going to show up, and then when they're not, it's like, yeah, let me help you understand, like, that's life, that's going to be like that. But I think my decision is really just like, just be solid, be thorough. Like, it's not rocket science to just do right by somebody. It's not rocket science to really be committed to what you say you're committed to. And I think that if anything that anybody can say how it impacts, I think that they can come along and be like, yeah, if I learned anything or I got anything from Kellen, it's like, you be a dependable and trustworthy person, especially a trustworthy person. Like, I don't think I have any problem with that. And if I do, I would love for someone to allow us the space to talk it out. But yeah, when it comes to just certain aspects in life, I just don't have those issues, because I've been treated a certain way before, and I never want someone to feel that of what I felt from me. Like, I just wouldn't want anybody to be like, dang, the thought that I got of him was, he was demeaning, or he not even rude, but like he was condescending, he was pessimistic, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest thing. It's like, yeah, I don't. My impact is being me and showing people a different side of the narrative that they might assume is what it is. Just showing them something different.
Absolutely. What motivates you, the pursuit of happiness or knowledge?
Between those two,
Which one, if you had to choose?
I would say, for real, I would say for me is the pursuit of happiness, because when I'm happy, I want to know more. You know what I'm saying? I don't always know more and be happy gaining the information, but I know if I like it, I'm gonna want to know more about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that for me, the pursuit of happiness is truly something that, again, it drives you to keep pushing in that
Mm.
direction. And that's the biggest thing for me.
We live in a world where there's so much judgment, and it goes back to what you just said earlier about being criticized and self accountability. What would you do differently if you knew
Nah, it
no
ain't gonna
one
be no
would
New Year, New
judge
Year's 3.
or
Somebody said New Year, New Year's 3. Nah, nah.
yes, and we were going to get to that, but you just answered it. But I forgot my question. My question was, what would you do differently if you knew no one would judge or criticize you? We live in a day and age where it's just like we have to take self accountability. It's just like the thing that went viral on TikTok, I think it was last year, 2024, and a lot of people kept saying it. We listen and we don't judge. What would you do differently?
I probably would have been more expressive sooner. For real, because me, I don't judgment don't really bother me. You feel me? Like, I don't I've gone through those phases of caring about what somebody thought about me, caring about what people say, things like, I had just did a post. It was like a little rant or whatever, but I had
I
just been
see.
hearing so much stuff. Yeah, just seeing so much stuff about what somebody and people had to say about me. And at that point, it's like, look, I don't care. I do not care, because, again, whatever it is that you're feeling, one, if you're not addressing me about it, then I know for a fact it's not going to be 100% accurate between the two of us. It's going to be, even if it leans more to my side in detail, it's going to lead to somebody else's side if everybody's not there. Number two is like, okay, most of the time, pretty much all of us have done just about the same thing in the world. Like, there's not much that somebody can be like, oh, well, you did this, but I didn't do this. Yeah, but there are probably things that you've done that I would never think to do. So the judgment part of it for me is, most people, out of judgment, they really want the reaction out of you. And I think that once I started doing therapy and getting a control of my emotions, oh yeah, I didn't care about it. You know what I mean? Because I was very emotional. Like, I still I am an emotional emotionally in tune man, but I just had to learn, man, you put too much emotion in carrying somebody else's baggage about how they feel about you or how they might just feel about themselves, like you're gonna lose every time. So I don't like judgment don't matter to me. I don't care. Think what you want to.
And the reason why I put my hands up and I said praise it, because what you just said, I'm gonna go back there. My mental health, seeking therapy. And that was going to be the next part of the conversation. I was going to ask you, how often do you allow your emotions to interfere with what you want for yourself? But before I get to that question and let you answer, mental health. I see a beautiful black man when I look at you, and I see the fact that
Thank you.
you normalize mental health. Because in our community, the Black collective, for so long we have been taught just go to God about it. Just talk to God. And I say faith without work is dead. God put
True.
therapists for a reason. And if we don't go and talk to them, we won't have any more of ourselves for our
Correct.
legacy of the next generation and the next generation. So now we're seeing so many artists, so many black male artists. I think it was Big Sean was one, and then Vic Mensa is another one. Love Vic Mensa. They opened up about mental health. We're seeing more and more black men. So you get two questions. What do you think about this? Is going to be the first question, and I'll let you answer the second one about emotion. Uh, what do you think about black men being open and transparent and candid and saying, "Hey, I don't feel okay." For women, for us, we get out here and when something's off because it's an emotional thing for us. We have an intuition, so we know our triggers and what makes us
Mm-hmm.
upset, what makes us happy, what makes us feel confident, all of these different
True.
emotions. But for black men, what do you think of the rise of black men going and saying, "Hey, it's okay for me to go sit down on a couch and talk to somebody"? Whereas in the black community, our community, the black collective, and then the Latinx community, is penalized. You're criminalized basically for this, for saying, "I'm gonna go and sit down and talk to somebody or reach out and get a second opinion outside of my family." It's okay to go and talk to family, but
Mm-hmm.
therapy has been normalized now, and people are saying, "I need to go talk to somebody." It's okay to not be okay
True.
because that means that you are human. But what do you think about black men being open and vulnerable and saying, "I need love. I need somebody to talk to too. I need to be vulnerable." Because they think that being vulnerable is a woman thing. It makes you soft, and it's just like, no, that results in toxic masculinity. But we're seeing black men change the initiative and go and sit and talk to somebody. Um, Woody is another one. We've seen the interview with Woody on, I think it was Club
Oh yeah, it was with
Club.
Cam Newton. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
with
was
Cam
with
Newton,
Cam Newton.
and he was vulnerable. He opened up about his daughter and what it meant to be a father, and in a way, you had some black men penalize and criminalize him for that. It's just like, met, growing up in the black collective, we have been taught don't share tears, don't show emotion, don't do this. You got to be tough, you got to be stoic. But black people are taking it and changing the narrative and say, "I'm gonna talk to somebody." So, what do you think about our people and mainly black men go and normalize their mental health?
Um, well, I'll start with something I genuinely cannot remember where I heard this from.
Mm,
I can't remember who said it, but it stuck with me. Unfortunately, a lot of black men are stuck in the mentality of when they first either were traumatized or violated. So the ones that are typically, and this is my opinion, but let's say, for instance, myself being a sexual assault survivor, you
my
know,
God.
been through, as a child, things like that. There was you always remember the points, especially as a child or when you go through something traumatic, of if someone listened to you or if someone shunned you away. And a lot of times that is what is instilled in you as to how to handle a situation, even if the result is someone breaking down and crying. So you kind of have your three levels of responses in men to vulnerability. And usually it's because when they were vulnerable in whatever it was, it doesn't even have to be anything like that. It could be, they didn't make a tackle in football, and you have either somebody that is yelling at you, somebody that's comforting you, or somebody that's acting like they don't even know you and dismissing you. That's three that, you know what I mean? And when I see with men and vulnerability, you find men when they're vulnerable, when they're in a safe space. You can't like, and that's why sometimes even when they talk about in love and relationships, certain people break their or let their walls down when they feel like it's safe. That's what they always say, is the coast clear. Most men think in a sense of, is the coast clear? Is everything okay? Is it safe to come out? Is it, am I gonna be scrutinized? You know what I mean? It's a lot of men that cry and are vulnerable. It's just they don't let anybody see it. And that in their own way could be okay. But I just look at it for myself like I'm not afraid to cry. I'm
Show
not
emo.
afraid to, yeah, I'm not afraid to feel. I'm not afraid to process my feelings, you know what I mean? Because one, that was what my parents always taught me. Like, yeah, there were moments where, again, like if we was playing sports or something and we losing, and I know that I can do better. My dad, like, no, we're not gonna cry our way through this. But if there were any time, even as an adult, if I give my dad a hug and I start crying, it's like it would never be a response of like, what are you crying for? Never. I've never experienced that. Now, again, with what you're taught and what you're exposed to, that skews your mentality because again, most men, especially if you grew up in a single parent household, your dad might not even been around to see you cry. So the people that respond to your vulnerability as when you're young is kind of what molds you feeling like what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Because again, you have the same people who, I know it's unfortunate, but you have men that will be abusive, but then when they sentence to life, that emotion comes out.
Yeah.
And it's not because, oh, you're mad because you're guilty and you're finally vulnerable. That was the time when the vulnerability, when you first felt it, when you felt that restraint and you felt like you had lost all hope and everything was done. That was supposed to be the time that you just cry and say, this is how I feel. Or you just bawl your eyes out and scream and yell and do what you need to do. It's not until reality hits, and a lot of times vulnerability has to come with reality that
Oh yeah.
says, okay, now I can let these tears out. But by that point, usually someone is saying, well, nah, don't cry now because you could have done that before you made those decisions, if you get what I'm saying. So for me, I just it's important. I think that it's necessary. I don't think that there's, unless you're not doing anything about your situation, even if you are crying through it, I don't look at anybody as a crybaby. I don't look at any man as weak or soft. I honestly wish that in this world that they were just a little bit softer. Because even when you look at, and let's not confuse that with soft guy era. I mean, just a little bit softer
Yeah.
with themselves and their emotions. It's okay to sit and argue with someone and to debate and to get so angry that, okay, you express yourself, you cry this and the third, and it can just be that. Or you step away because you angry, shed your tears or do whatever, even if you don't cry, but take a deep breath and just reset. You know what I mean? Vulnerability is still resetting. It's like if you playing your most favorite video game, you get to the end and the game mess up. Sometimes you just gotta reset and just take a deep breath and try it over. So for me, I'm not I don't shun anybody about that. If you I actually, and even when I watched it, because I know Cam, and he went to Westlake, I went to Creekside, but and we've had our exchanges through sports and stuff because we graduated the same year. But it meant a lot to even see another man give that man space to just silence, like just complete silence. Sometimes that's all you need. I have many of my friends that have come to me about issues or feeling a certain way, and I just listen. Even if they don't talk, you just listen because at the same time, it's the space that men aren't usually exposed to. Women are typically given a lot of space. Hey, step back, give her some air, let her breathe. Like, hey man, leave her alone, give her some da 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 da. A lot of times men are given that same space. Even in conflict, there are a lot of conflicts. If you just literally, if you really think about it, folks get to arguing. Same as like when you playing basketball. After the argument, you go take a deep breath, woo, this and the third, and you come back, and now we talking trash, but it's over with. We not going back and forth to it. And I just feel like when you see men be vulnerable, that's a true indication of what a safe space looks like. And if we paid attention to that, we would be able to provide more safe spaces more consistently so that men could actually be vulnerable. Because men want to be. I don't care what. That's just me. I feel like I'm a real man. I don't do that alpha male, this and that. I'm a
Yeah.
masculine man. I feel like every single dude, no matter what you say, wants and desires a safe space. And I can tell you two examples when he do. One, if when he go out, you the person he want to hang with, and two, if you around that person and you ever had somebody where a dude might lay his head on your lap and be asleep. I'm talking be out cold. Even though there was nothing that you did, it's the space. Sometimes men, and then next thing you know, they wake up or by the end of the conversation, they done told you everything that's going on, how they feeling, how they dissected it, what their plans are. Do you have any ideas? Do you have any input? And that's all it is. A lot of people don't know how to create safe spaces that they've never been exposed to.
Absolutely. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go back to what you just said about soft. You said soft boy era. Well, for women, for us, it's called soft girl era, and that's gonna be the next segue because this also ties into mental health, self care, being gentle to yourself. What does self care look like for you, and what rituals do you partake in as far as self care, as far as like, okay, because sometimes we can become so overwhelmed where we literally have to unplug, just like a car, like we have the cars that you can plug up or whatever now, or a laptop phone, whatever. We have to unplug and
true.
digest and decompress. So, what does self care look like for you, and what methods of self care do you indulge in?
Well, initially, and it's ironic because the self care has now become like a career path, but just being on camera. I loved taking pictures. I loved just that was my thing. Anytime I felt bad or sad or something like that, I was like, yo, I just want to take some pictures. And I've kind of always been like that since I had a camera phone. I feel like when so Taurus, I feel like for me, basketball. I cut my own hair, so like I find that very therapeutic of just being able to like cut my own hair and keep myself like tidy. That's a start. Um, I watch certain types of videos. Like I watch self development things, and I like
Mhm.
to take time to even things like interviews of other people, how other people interact, how other people view the world or want people or the world to view them. um, and then outside of that, like I put myself in happy places. Like I go to places that I enjoy, and it doesn't take much. I'm usually by myself. I kick it with my cousins a lot, and my brother. You know, I love to see my nieces and nephews. That's been something that I've actually just kind of, and rightfully so, because I don't know, I was just very distant for a while. Just sometimes it's just a weird space in life, and once they started getting older, I saw how they would gravitate to me, and I'm like, oh, I actually
Mhm.
kind of like this. Like this is cool. You know what I mean? Like to have somebody that feels like they want to be around you because you're their uncle, and you give such a good presence. So that's something that I find joy in, just kicking and spending time with them. And yeah, outside of that, I mean, you know, if it's a vibe, if it's a event or something, that's I play Call of Duty on my phone, and that's really it. Like I'm simple. I don't need too much.
Soft, when we talk about being in our soft era, it means taking, for those of you who are just coming in, welcome as you come in. we were talking about mental health and taking care of yourself and how important it is that we pour into ourselves because you can't pour from an empty glass. What is the
True.
philosophy that you live by on a daily mantra as you get up? Because first thing, what I do is in the morning is I have a conversation with God on an affirmation. And one of my affirmations that I live by is when I walk into a room, my energy is palpable. And it
Hmm.
shows you that you have the power. You are the power. We talk about, I feel, I don't feel confident today. I don't feel like myself today. You could be going to a job interview. You could be going to do anything. And you just need that pick me up. So, what
True.
is the philosophy that you live by that has helped you in your life?
I always say like, well, I guess it's kind of like it's not like a quote or anything, but I'm the type of person where I've noticed that no matter what has happened, like it's always worked out. Like the ends always meet. So when you get to that point, it's kind of like my philosophy every day is no matter what, if I've always been good up until this point, why would I think anything is going to change regardless of the circumstance? You feel me? Like I've been shown so many times in so many different ways, month after month, week and year after year, that like no matter how much I get down on myself or down about a situation, it always finds a way to work out. And even if it didn't, it still really worked out because usually it's like not even something that you don't need, but it might be a lesson that you did need. Like there have been plenty of times I learned a lesson in procrastination that was like, dang, it sucks that I had the consequence of this, but I needed that. I didn't want that, but I needed it. So my philosophy is always, if hey, when it's time to show up and show out, you've done that. Why expect anything less? You know what I mean? When it counts, God has always, at least for me, like God has always been there. So it's like why stress? That's my daily thing. Like we gonna be all right. I said that yesterday. We gonna figure it out. It's going to get figured out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When do you feel the most cheerful and alive?
I love playing Call of Duty. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I know that might be like a not really like I know there's no wrong answer, but I don't know. I just like when I play video games and then you can talk to people from all over the world and stuff
Oh, yeah.
and like stream. But other than that, I ain't gonna hold you. Like I feel really good like when I help people, like regardless of what, or when I just show up for people, whether it's birthdays, whether it's events, whether it's like when people have the homeless shelter like giveaways with food, like anything humanitarianism that deals with people, I'm happy. Like because I genuinely just enjoy not only just being around people, but I tend to get the feedback that I'm pretty pleasant to be around as well. So I think that that's a good thing to want to, not all the time. And my dad used to say that like you can't exhaust yourself, but to know that okay, you can bring a good energy into a room. I think that definitely makes me feel good. But yeah, like I like yeah, when I'm my most cheerful, I ain't gonna hold you. It's just when I see people that I love happy and winning. Like I can't stress that enough. I'm always gonna be somebody that if you winning and you did something that you said that you was gonna do, I'm great. You motivating me to go think of another goal that I need to do because I wanna piggyback off what you did. I don't, not in a hating way, but I don't want you to be the only one coming with good news. I want to bring good news to you to let you know that while you working, I'm working. While you winning, I'm winning. While you processing, I'm processing.
Absolutely. And it's enough to go around. And I'm to piggyback off of what your father just said, which is what I basically said, which is you can't pour an empty glass. You'll exhaust yourself. You'll wear yourself out. Sometimes we overwhelm ourselves. We're trying to do so many things, dip our hands in
Correct.
so many places, and it's overwhelming. What advice would you give to somebody who's like, it feels like all of these things are piling up on your back? It's like when you try to carry a bunch of luggage and it's too heavy, it eventually is all going to come crumbling down. So, what advice would you give them?
If things are, I would say if things are stacking up, if you can try to handle the big things first, put the big things at the bottom, closer to your
Yeah.
hands. The things that you can, you know what I'm saying, and the things that are the smaller things, they're still close to your eyes, and you can monitor them. They're easier to see. When you have the small things at the bottom and all you see is the big things, that's all that you'll worry about. But if you feel or if you are being more hands-on with the bigger things in life, you'll always be able to see the small things, and okay, if you need to catch that, you can, or balance it out. It's just easier to balance the bigger and work your way up. But yeah, it's a process. Like, you can't do it all in one day. You can't. It's impossible.
So as we come to the close of our conversation, you have some, and then I'm going to turn the tables and let Kellen here host my show. He's going to ask me some questions, and then we're going to get into the 5 things he can't live without, or as I would like to call the rapid five. You have some projects coming up. So what can we expect from you in the next present future of you in your life and your career? What would you want your chapter to be concluded with? Because I have a diary. I keep a diary and I'm always writing in it, always writing,
Hmm.
um, putting goals and ambitions of things that I want to work on and expand on. Because I also do have vision boards as well too, and I'm always putting the pieces of the puzzle of my life together, still trying to figure it. And even at 31, I'm still going and still figuring
Hmm.
things along the way. So, what's next for you in your future?
And you mean like specific projects?
Yeah.
So,
What is something you want to work on or manifest for the new year?
mm, so there are a couple things. Um, because I've kind of touched a little bit of directing and stuff, but I would
Yeah.
think for the new year is really, I really want to put together like a series. I've had this thought of this series that I've been thinking of for a minute, and putting the pen to paper, definitely putting the notes in the phones and stuff, but just good work. I got a few friends, and I know sometimes they say like necessarily be specific, but if I'm manifesting right now for the next year, is really just um high level budget projects. You know what I mean? Like, it's
And it's
a
coming.
what's happening? It's a it's go time. Like, it's I'm locked in, and I think that just for next year, it's gonna be no denying. I think that a lot of the what I manifest for the next year and the upcoming year, there are some productions and things that I think that I'll be involved in, that I look forward to being involved in, and I'm putting that in the air because I know everybody has their own like busy schedules and things like that, but for me, um, I think it's time to just connect the dots. It's time to connect all the dots and really bring some, I wouldn't even say structure, but bring some common ground to a lot of different people that I'm connected with and work on some big things. That's my, yeah.
Mm. And it's coming. You said work on big productions. It's coming. If you manifest it, because I believe in the power of manifestation. I'm currently right now at 800. This will be my 842nd interview with
Congrats.
840. And it's because I kept going. It's because I set myself a goal. I said by 2025, I'm going to hit 800 shows. And just that, that's why I have that 800 pin, if you guys are wondering, because I said I set myself a goal that of something that I want to work on, and it happened. So when you put the power of manifestation out there is real. When you put it out there and you announce what you want to do, or you write that goal or that plan down, something that you want to complete, it all comes to fruition. So it's coming to fruition, and I'm telling it, speak it into existence.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can't, I say it the way I say it because there is no, I know where my heart is. So in the specification for me, it's just I see what's out there. I see what the people around me are doing, what they're working on. I see where I'm bringing value to certain rooms and to certain uh aspects of my life, and that would be my biggest thing too. Yeah, is just continue to add value, continue to let people see like, hey, I'm not just one of those ones, but I'm like I'm trying to make many of many and trying to learn from many of many. And I don't. It's gonna be some. I'm telling you, like with the stuff that I got coming out, and I'm again getting into acting classes and stuff like that. I'm really just like, no, I will speak it since it needs to be spoken. I genuinely am looking for like a 6 figure, 7 figure year. Like that's my goal. That's what I'm saying of what I feel in my heart to be able to start the legacy of the plans that I have. Because I said I was like I gave myself, that was on my birthday in April 12th. I said 2 years. 2 years we're gonna be this is gonna be on autopilot, and it's gonna be self-funded, and we're gonna really be rocking the way we want to, and we're gonna have the right people in the right places, and we're gonna expand. So that, yeah, nothing less than 6 figures, um nothing less than 6 movies, you know. And then, like I said, I got a couple of my friends that I see they doing their thing. I'm like, man, I want to be on screen with y'all again. So it's a couple of productions that yeah. I just feel like in my head I'm like, man, I got a few actors I just need to talk to. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like I feel like I got to talk to Michael B. Jordan. I got to talk to Lance Gross.
Mm.
I got to talk to what's that man name? Damsel Idris. I got to talk to him. Um got to talk to Keith Carlos, Broderick Hunter. I want to talk to Adam McKay again when I did Anchorman 2. I feel like I got to talk to him. And oh no, you just reminded me. Yeah, because I'm sorry, we can't talk about the show. But hosting. I want to do hosting. That is what I've been really, really, and I'm sorry, like, sorry, Lord. I've been praying about it so much, it's just in there. But yes, I want to host like television and like game shows, reality shows, stuff like that. I feel like I'm really good for TV, and I actually got a really, really big compliment a couple weeks ago. And when I hosted Happy Birthday to Jasmine, a party, they was like, yo, I think you'd be a pretty decent host. Like you seem like natural. You didn't seem tense or nervous or nothing like that. And then, like I said, just somewhere else I was, they was like, man, I could really see you as being like a guest host, co-host. So we're gonna manifest that for sure. I'm gonna be doing some hostings, and y'all are gonna enjoy seeing me bring life to your television or to your phone for sure. For sure, for sure.
Well, we're going to put your hosting skills to the test because
All
it
right.
is about that time, fashion dolls. You guys know what time it is. Before we get to the hosting segment where I turn it over to Kellen, and Kellen gets to ask me as many questions as he wants to. And for my new viewers that are coming into
TV
the
shows,
room,
game shows.
about me through the shout outs to my colleague. Now's the time. Wayo FM. Make sure you guys please go and check him out. Amazing broadcaster, and I've known now's the time. And my other colleague, also my brother, K Tukes, host of the K Tukes Spot. He has his talk show, the K Tukes Spot. So make sure you guys please go and check him out and subscribe. And we did a couple collaborations together. I worked with
Absolutely.
both of them. So before we get to
IGTV.
the hosting segment, we're going to do something called the rapid five, where Kellen has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without. Sort of like the quickies, where you tell me
Okay.
your guilty pleasures. Like you said, you love Call of Duty. It can be one of those things, whatever you like. So, what are the 5 things that Kellen can't live without?
Cereal.
Okay.
uh, I can't. I can't live without my family.
Oh.
I love my family. I've been blessed to have an amazing experience just through the whole adoption and being just for as a child and just knowing what family is. Like I couldn't live without my family, like my cousins, my brothers, my sisters, stuff like that. Like I couldn't live without them. Um, I couldn't live without knowing that the people that I can't live without are in good spirits and good health and good like standings. Like that would really that crushes me when I know that the people I care about aren't really in their best light. Uh, I might as well just say I can't live without my phone because that's one of those like But I couldn't live. I don't think I could live without music.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think I could live without music. Like I think I could might be able to live without like TV, but without no music, I can figure that out. I'm like you said, I got many skills and stuff. I can figure that out. But music, I don't think I can live without no music. That I can't do that.
All right, fashion dolls. There's the five. All right, we're gonna put Kellen's hosting skills to the test in a segment I like to call "Turn the Table." So this is no longer Style by Stevie; it is the Kellen Marcus show. So I'm gonna pass it on down to Kellen here, and I'm about to be put in the guest seat. So we're switching, we're swapping,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pass the microphone on down to Kellen, and Kellen is gonna ask me some questions, as many as he wants. So take it away.
What's going on, y'all? It's Kelly Marcus. I appreciate everybody for coming out to the segment and showing love. I have my beautiful host Stevie with me. We're gonna just, take some time to get to know her, ask her a few questions, see how life is going, and we'll let y'all have y'all evening so y'all can get to eating dinner and enjoying the television binges. So, Miss Stevie, when you, because I know that you had mentioned that you were on your 842nd interview.
Yes.
You said that that was something that you put down for yourself, something that you said, okay, this is a goal for you. When was the first time that you wrote down a goal that you said that came into fruition that let you understand the power of writing your goals down?
God. When the pandemic happened, all of us were trying to scramble and figure out a way how to do this because we've never experienced anything like this.
True.
So 2020 for me was sort of a year to regroup, to rebrand. I still kept doing it how we're doing it now, and we're still going. And it's been a success. Thank God people tune in on their work break or they go back and they watch the replay and they leave their feedback. But 2020 was the year. Yeah, and I started in 2016, right after high school. So I didn't have a
Gotcha.
clue what I was doing. And to see how far this platform has come now at this point in my life, and for people to love it and to tune in every day as soon as I click that live button and it counts down three, two, one, you're now live. And then people start coming in and
Yeah,
listening to the conversation, it does something to me and it makes me feel good.
absolutely.
So 2020 was the year that I started doing those vision boards. I seen it. I think it was a young lady who did something on TikTok, and I also follow Pinterest. And they were showcasing how they were doing their vision boards. And I said, okay, I need to start manifesting. I need to create a plan. I need to create a goal. I need to work on what I want what kind of guests I want to have on, and all of that. And to have now 842 interviews under my belt, we'll pretty soon be at 1,000, and we'll
Yeah,
keep going. I told people that I have a drive to just keep going. So
of course.
2020.
And so, because you mentioned it was about the time of the pandemic when that happened, was it an immediate like write down and start, or was there a little time in between where you still were on the fence about, well, I know you said you'd already been doing it since 2016, so let's go back to 2016. Was that an immediate start for you, or was that something that it took you a while to kind of get consistent with? Like, where have you been, 100% on go from there, or like have you had moments where you kind of had fallen off? And if you did, what was that like?
For sure, I've had to go back to the drawing board. I've had moments where I fell off, and I've had to go back and regroup, and not only regroup, but strategize. And thank God for mentors, as you said in the beginning of our conversation about having that family, that support system. That's what's key and crucial and important. And I thank God that I have mentors and friends like my colleague now, Statan, who's been there since the beginning. And I met K-Tooks later on around the pandemic. So we just instantly clicked. So thank the Lord for the likes of them and so many others who have been there kind of shadowing me and
Yep.
guiding me, saying, okay, this is what you need to do and be in this direction. I had no experience when I first came in doing this platform. And when you're young, you're cocky, you're sort of arrogant, but it's just like, okay, humble yourself.
Okay.
It'll
For
all
sure.
fall
For
in
sure.
line. It'll all come in line together. So yeah, I had to go back to the drawing board and start over. Trust.
Okay. So when you was going, let's just kind of like on topic, off topic. You're going back to the drawing board. You say, all
Yeah.
right, I'm about to write this plan down. I'm about to lock in. What's the juice? What's the potential candy, or what's the meal that says this is a get to work meal? What's your get to work snack, and what's your get to work meal?
Mm. I said, okay, I have to change my approach. That's the get to work meal and the get to work snack, I would say, is style. It's all about visions because people are visual. And when I first started off, now's the time. I keep picking on him because he's been with me since the beginning. Uh, Even broadcasting on Live Me, that was a good way for me to network. As you said, with Call of Duty, you're able to network with people. Live Me was a way
True,
for me to network with people across the world from
for
different
sure.
parts. New York, he's in New York, Rochester, New York. I have family there in Brooklyn. So to be able to network with other groups of people in different countries, and we would have panels and discussions, and we would talk about food and all of these things. So that was the snack. That was the snack right there to try to give me, an insight of what it would be like hosting a talk show, having
True.
people who don't align and have the same opinion, but we can disagree respectfully and be
Gotcha.
respectful and have love for each other. In some cases, there was some I'm just like, oh, it's out of control. But now's the time would help me wheel that back in, and I would learn from him because he hosts radio. And
Yeah.
then I started doing radio. I did the style report for 216 The Beat. So I mean, the list goes on and on. But
True.
that's a way for me to sort of get my feet. But I'm gonna say that you said the meal better because I was able to sort of be able to reinvent myself. I had no clue what I was. So the
Gotcha.
fashion, the visual aspect, being able to change up my look on a daily and people be shocked because it was one specific look I would have. And one of my girlfriends, shout outs to my girl, printed by Rage here, amazing hairstylist in the RDA area. She said, girl, if you want something, you've got to bring honey. You need to bring honey. If you want to be a queen bee, you need to bring honey. And that means that you need to change your look. And I got very upset because I was just like, I wanted to wear my mohawk at the time. I had a mohawk. And I was just like, okay, I see what she's saying. I noticed the viewership was going down because people just got bored. They got tired of seeing the same thing over and over. So I said, okay,
True. Gotcha.
let me come back with a bang. And I mean
Okay.
with a bang. A whole new look, a whole new everything. I had to invest backdrops, lighting, all of that, and taking advice from my colleagues in the business. And I said, oh my God, I see a difference. People are paying attention now. And they're wanting to know what is the secret? What is the sauce? What is the honey? What is it that draws people to you? I still can't tell people that. I don't know what it
Let's
is,
go.
but I wish I knew. But I must say that in order for people to have that secret formula, it's about personality. It's
Okay.
about personality, and that's what draws people. And I think
I love.
that's what draws people into me is my personality and how bubbly I am. By the way, I'm a Scorpio. My mom's a Libra. So I had my cousin on the show just last week, and the same personality that people love and tune in for every day, Monday through Friday with me, they found that in her. And she
Yeah.
vouched for that. She says, our family, we are outspoken. We love to have a good time. And by the way, she's a minister, and she came on and was just laid back, down to earth, the same thing. She's from New York, but she resides in North Carolina, and I'm in South Carolina. So that Southern hospitality is what
Yeah.
people look for. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. I mean, since I'm like, shoot, I might well piggyback off of that. We'll talk about let's talk about literal food because I kind of built up a little appetite. What is your
Yes.
favorite snack and what is your favorite meal? We've got it from the aspect of what you get from your work and career people, but in now a literal sense, since you kind of gave me inspiration for another question, what is your favorite snack, go-to snack, and go-to meal?
Mm. My mother just bought me a box of these not too long, and it is a
All right.
box of. You guys remember the cheeses? Now they got the cheeses where it's like the trail mix. You guys remember the Chex
Yeah.
mix of mix?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is my favorite snack from now
All
on.
right.
My favorite meal. I love soul food. I love
Okay.
soul food, but I've lately had to cut back off of that, trying to change my outlook again, changing that narrative. Too much sugar, too much of this, too much of that. So I would have to say for me, what do I love as a snack? My God. Mm. I mean, you said a meal. What do I love to eat? Pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni
Okay.
pizza. My guilty
Okay.
pleasure.
All right. So in we all a pepperoni pizza is clutch. I definitely will give you that.
Yes.
What would be something for your viewers, for people that are on now, people that will get to know you? What is your what is your food for the soul? What is something that you feed yourself that you say, okay, this is my comfort conversation. And it doesn't have to be necessarily what it like in depth of what it's about, but like what would you give as food for the soul to your viewers or to your followers and people that, want to know how you process things?
What were you saying?
No, I said whenever you because you we speaking on food, so I said for the people that are getting to know you, the people that you know, if you would say, okay, this is my food for the soul or food for thought, what would be something or what would your answer be to that? What's your food for the soul?
My food for the soul, I would tell people, would be confidence. Confidence is key. And I know a lot of people get into this business like, what can I do? Almost dropped y'all. What
You
can
good?
I do to be a better me? And the best version of yourself would be confident. A lot of us, it takes a lot of us to build that up. And a lot of people are like, how did you get so bold? How did you get so confident? It's not just a, oh, I'm going to go and buy something real quick. Like you go to the store and you buy a charger. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
not that. It takes you a while to build up confidence, to be outspoken, to be bold.
True.
And that is something that I've had to learn through encouragement, through my mom. My mom is my biggest support system. My family is my biggest support system. And I'm thankful for the likes of my mom, for my grandmother, and them just being here alone to encourage me. And not only that, but my supporters who show me so much love. Shout outs to my colleague Deshaun.
For sure. For sure. When you speak of your family and your
Yeah.
process of how you value that, for those who may not have that same receptiveness from their family or might not have that same support, what are other versions of family that you found in people? So when you were meeting people that were, productive to your journey, how like how were you able to decipher through that, even though family, or how would you encourage someone to get through that when family doesn't support you?
Mm. Build your own tribe. Community is important more than ever. And I can call out a few people that are in my tribe. Shout outs to the Sean, shout outs to Now's the Time, shout outs to K2, shout outs to Bubs the God, shout outs to Harold, shout outs to Bossman, shout outs to Conscious TV, shout outs to Queen Spicy, shout outs to Keon, shout outs to Alvin Tit for Tat, this and that. Shout outs to so many who have been there encouraging me along the way. And we talk on a regular, like we created our own little group here on the gram, and we message and we share current events and articles. We talk about it and we do panels and we have these discussions. It's like a family, like having dinner with your family and talking over issues. So I would encourage people who don't feel as though they don't have that support system out there to go and build. Go and build. And in the beginning, you said something that was powerful in our interview, which is I can't relate to anybody who's lost a loved one or a parent or a sibling for that nature. I can't fathom the pain of just losing my mother or any one of my brother. I lost a sister, but I have four brothers that are still living. I have one sister that's still living. And I just can't imagine the pain of losing anymore. So my advice to anybody who's lost somebody would be build your tribe. Build your tribe of people that you're close to. Build your tribe of people that you know that will have your back, that will encourage you as well.
Okay. Three people, and it could, again, there's definitely no right or wrong answer, but three people whose stories well, can you give me three people whose stories personally inspired you that you just took a liking or were inspired by their resilience?
Wow. I would have to say one is Jennifer Lewis because we seen her when she fell and how I watched the interview that she did with Robin Roberts and her
Hmm.
talking about saying how she had to recover and get her strength back and learn to walk again. That's a powerful story. An actress that I just recently interviewed by the name of Christy Tate is another similar thing. Learning to have to walk again, learning to have to do this again, not having to depend on anybody, but wanting to learn on your own. And she
True.
shared that with me. Uh, number three, oh my goodness, what would I say? Number three, Nate Taylor. This an actor and director by the name of Nate Taylor, and he'd opened up about his experience. He too was traumatized at a young age, and I remember him sharing that. And it just goes to show you when I've sat with these two, Christy and Nate, that their stories is sort of like from tragedy, you're coming from tragedy. You've been through trauma and you've recovered and you've bounced back and you've gained your strength.
True.
So to be able to sit with them and them share their stories with you, those are the three right there I would go with.
I love that. Now I'm sorry because I it looked like I'm getting caught in the rain. This background is it
They can hear it.
loud?
The audience caught it. Deshaun caught it. He said, "Is it raining? Because I'm hearing rain."
Yeah,
Yeah, it does
yeah.
call for rain.
I got caught in the rain during the interview, but I will end with this. Is there what is one thing that because I know you were talking about your actions and the impact in the world. Is there one prayer that you would have for the world?
Hmm. A prayer that I would have for the world would be through all of the midst of chaos, through all of the midst of dark, evil, demented entities that want to destroy you, that want to bring you down, that want to make you feel inadequate. You are not alone. The whatever's done in the dark is coming to the light. And I must say now God has made us open our eyes truly to see the darkness and the dark forces that are against us. So I pray for healing. These people who are evil, who are dark, who love causing harm to people. We all have heard the expression hurt people because they have been traumatized.
True,
So they
true.
pass their pain onto other people and they inflict pain onto other people. And I can't it's called masochism, where you are addicted to pain, you are addicted to hurting, and it is a sickness. And I think that people truly need healing. And it has to be within themselves to go and get it. Because trying to make somebody go get it, you're telling them, oh, you're gonna get it is a dangerous situation. They have to want it for themselves. We're living in the days you got to do it yourself. As you said about mental health, you got to take that initiative. As I said about my health and me, I opened up about having high triglyceride and having to exercise and lower my blood levels down because I had to take charge over that. If not, would have been type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetic. And I had to take that initiative and turn it around. So that's what we got to do. Take the initiative, turn it around, and heal. Our consequences are coming back on America. Yeah, and the dark forces, there is karma because God sees everything. And I want to close my prayer with that.
Very, very true. Well, I appreciate it. It was such a pleasure to have you on my segment of the show. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. I hope that I was able to ask some thought provoking questions. And I apologize for the rain, but that just it must have been from that manifestation. That's what it's got to be. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? It's pouring down on me immediately because it's always good to know that I'm in the presence of good people, and I really, really appreciate you for having me on your show.
you are so welcome. And I would love to have you back on again. So, where can everyone follow you?
You can follow me on like all social media, Kellen Marcus. That's KELLEN. I'll actually type it in at the bottom as well. So everything is pretty much at Kellen Marcus. So Kellen Marcus, and then I think on like TikTok it's the Kellen Marcus. But if you type in Kellen Marcus, it'll pop up.
There you go, fashion dolls. And I'm going to close the show. Kellen asked me for a prayer. Today's final thought also ties into the prayer, which is do not be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. We talked about the power of manifestation and how powerful it is. So, as you see the rain where Kellen is at, make sure that you guys are manifesting
Yeah,
for yourselves and
yeah, you hear that?
go for more. Yes, 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 yes. So tomorrow, kicking off August 1st, we have Okiwa Garrett. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow on Friday. And I love you all, fashion dolls. And again, be intentional about doing something productive. I love you all. And this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. Interview 842, and tomorrow will be 843. So I love you all, and I will see you then. Till next time, take care.
See y'all later. Enjoy the rain.